earliest stage possible would be before they even get their hands locked, right? What it usually looks like is like an underhook, overhook situation, right? So I feel like that's the most prevalent from the knee slice. So we're gonna start there, all right? So a lot of times when people are knee cutting you here, if you go to underhook them, instead of passing your guard, they just go right for your neck here. I try to go against my intuition. I don't try to attack them with the underhook, especially if it's a knee slice, a quarter guard like this. Whether it's turtle or here, one of my big lifelines right away is with my hand fight, okay? I'm gonna make a thumb post on the inside of the elbow here, okay? This is all the way from what we're doing right now, preemptive to late stage, right? This is like the straw you breathe through when you get here, all right? Now, preemptive, you guys just wanna think of the body mechanics associated with a Darce, right? He wants to lock his hand and really contract my body here. So really what I want to do is the opposite. I want to extend. Whenever somebody shoots a dynamic Darce like this on you guys, you should start thinking about stretching your spine and looking up as much as possible. So if Mike tries to collapse my head here, it's really hard. He doesn't have that 3/4 Nelson. He doesn't have the power half type effect where he can really tuck my chin to my chest here. This will be the end of it, especially if you're both pretty solid, okay? A lot of times here when I beat this, he's not gonna like be stubborn and like try to force it. He's gonna sit back, maybe look for his underhook and start to pass, okay? However, in the event that they are still trying to dive onto your neck here, we have the potential for a sweep, all right? So assuming he dives forwards, we're gonna keep this elbow tight to his elbow, okay? I'm gonna keep my quarter guard. I'm gonna step my toes out here. I'm gonna slide my hips under. This is gonna be very similar to a half guard sweep too. I'm gonna load him up. And I'm gonna use his overextension to start coming to the top here. And I wanna reiterate, that's a really cool counter, but it's gonna happen mostly again at like the beginner level when people are being just really stubborn about, you know, shit that's not there anymore. And when you go to overextend here and he sits back, a lot of times his foot pops out. And while you try to hit that, you get your guard passed. So you need to be very careful about towing that line. If he's sitting back, do not try to sweep him. Go back to some form of guard. Mike punches that overhook here, get that thumb post right away and collapse, okay? As you do that, immediately start stretching your spine. It doesn't matter how long his arms are. If he tries to collapse me here, this should be a pretty solid position. And if he insists on continuing to do that, that's when you guys can potentially hit this reversal. Top. So we get Darce from half guard a lot too when we go for our coyote guard, right? Guys, a thing you have from half guard that you didn't have in quarter guard, remember, okay? Even though we don't have an underhook, or this could be done in certain scenarios with an underhook, you guys can always switch to your coyote hook here to start to put torque on the knee. And in a lot of situations, we can end up in the same scenarios. And he's able to lock up a Darce right here. Okay, full figure four. Guys, now more than ever, this shows you the importance of this thumb post. Okay, we talked about this with things like ankle locks. This grip here can help stop him from punching this deeper, okay? So don't take this for granted, that's the point, okay? Now, let's say I do start to extend the spine here, okay? If it is locked tighter and he's not giving up or his grip's not breaking, they have a tendency to hold on to this, which can give you a higher probability of the sweep that we just did, all right? However, there's a problem. Whenever Mike and I still have contact with our chest here, he still has the ability to Darce me, okay? So if he locks this tight, he pushes my head down, he pulls his elbow back. Yeah, you guys hear my voice, he can finish me. So if you guys remember when we practice this, a big thing he needs is this elbow to stay between us. So guys, if you ever end up with this belly up Darce situation, a really important thing to think about here is as you land, start getting this elbow back to the other side, okay? So now if he locks it up and he tries to pull this elbow, go ahead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm okay, my voice isn't changing. Versus here, go ahead. 1, 2, 3, yep. Big difference, okay? So if you guys remember like the basics of the Darce that we did a few months ago, in order to finish me, this needs to be in that straight plane across my neck. A lot of what we're doing this week is taking the arm out of alignment either this way or this way. It's almost similar to when we do hitchhikers for arm bars. So that last one is going to tend to not be enough. Again, if he controls my spine, okay, start getting crunched up here, right? That can be as early as like him grabbing the back of my head. It could be the S grip or even a full figure four, okay? The other problem, as far as the first one goes, is if Jason passes my guard. Okay, now he's much closer to me, okay? I don't have that leverage on the feet, and even if he's not grabbing the back of my head here, if I try to stretch away, you see I can only move so far away like this. Okay, so guys, you should still start off, and we're pretty much gonna do every escape like this by getting that thumb grip. Let's say he does lock some form of grip here. Okay, so can't extend my spine. We looked at previously, not just from the knee cut, but also from turtle, okay? We want to pay attention to his head position, right? He needs to stay tight to my back, okay? If I feel I'm not staying tight to my back and I'm able to get my back to the floor, that'll be our first direction of escape here, okay? So, again, for him to get a Darce, he needs this shoulder to basically be across the neck, okay? First escape, we'll be looking at bringing the shoulder up this way to misalign, and then the second one will be this way, okay? We're basically always trying to misalign our shoulder from our neck and our chest from our partner's chest to some degree, okay? So from here, as he's locking it up, if I feel that the position's loose, I'll go flat to my back and I'll get this arm over my head, okay? So for example here, if Jason tries to pull his elbow to finish, you guys hear my voice, I'm pretty okay here. Versus this. Even if I go flat, if he starts pulling that elbow, yeah. If my shoulder's on my neck, across this way, it's not good, okay? Now, this is a good start, okay? I'm not being choked, but we're still stuck here, okay? First thing you guys need to worry about is your partner potentially switching to a north-south choke, okay? If he does, yeah. Okay, again, make sure you're just looking inwards, all right? That's what we're gonna do anyways, okay? Regardless of what he does though, our goal is gonna be the same, okay? As we start to loosen up this position, or if he loosens it up for us, we're gonna look to go to a really basic north-south escape here, okay? That's gonna come in the form of these, for lack of a better term, lap frames here, all right? When you guys frame in the bottom of north-south, you want to stick your wrist and your forearm into the armpit and curl your hand to the back, okay? And we want to try to work that in on both sides. Okay, so if you've never done a north-south escape before, both elbows should be rigid, so if Jason tries to put his weight on me, see, very difficult, okay? Versus here, yep, crushes me. So here. Now, to escape, all you're going to do is bring your legs up, connect your shins to the shoulders, and face your partner. Remember, get that initial, we'll just call it an extra bit of time here before this gets worse, right? So, as he's setting up the Darce here, or just in general, if I feel he's not being tight to my back, I can elect to go flat to my back and try to bring this arm over my head, okay? Now, from here, okay, we'll kind of do it without the north-south position this time. Let's say he's just staying here, generally holding onto the Darce, okay? Guys, I'm just looking to cut this arm back inside, okay? And you see that forearm slides right into place. This will be the case under many different scenarios here, okay? So remember, forearm inside, hand on the back. We'll work the other arm in, and your elbows need to be rigid here. Your partner should not be able to connect his chest to your chest, okay? Then from here, shins up, and then face your partner, okay? Don't look at this as like a set sequence. A lot of what I'm actually about to show will work from other scenarios as well, okay? So again, a lot of times we're in turtle here, punches that hand through and he gets that 3/4 turn. Probably the other most common way to get Darced here, okay? Same thing, guys. A lot of times there's a few different escapes we can use here. I still want to start off by creating that lifeline. if I'm not quick enough or I haven't quite made my decision on how I'm gonna escape, okay, again, I want at least this to fall back on. The next one we're gonna do is just bring our arm the other way. So the first time we went flat to our back and we brought the arm over the head. Okay, here our chest is facing the mat, so it'll be an easier thing to actually do the opposite a lot of times, and this is actually why this one's my favorite, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna punch my hand down as I sprawl my hip on the same side, okay? A lot of people are able to do this flat, okay? Guys, so a word of caution here. I tend to not like to stay flat because I'm smaller. Okay, so if you stay flat here, and let's say Mike walks towards my legs, he starts pulling his elbows up. A lot of times here, you can still get turned over. Okay? So I'm really going to recommend that when you guys do this, you punch the same side hand down, you punch the same side leg down, okay? That's both my lefts. And you reinforce by posting this leg and going into a split sprawl. So if Mike goes to move me here, I can move within that sprawl and still have a fighting chance here to stay belly down. Okay? Now, to really put pressure against the lock here, whether he's palm to palm or he's locked the full Darce, watch my left shoulder. It's going to be very similar to one of the triangle escapes that we do. I'm going to move my left shoulder towards my right knee. Watch my head. It's going to put a lot of pressure against the grip here. And then a lot of times here, there are some fancy things that we could try to do like Granby roll, but the easy thing would just be to take your free hand fight here and look to square up with your opponent. And when you guys successfully start to wedge this open, you're pretty much laying on this bottom arm, right? I'm not worried about a follow-up with this bottom arm. Like, try to pull your arm away even. It's super tough, right? Control this wrist. If you're worried about a guillotine, okay, let's say I don't grab it, go ahead, switch to a guillotine. Yeah, if you don't control that wrist, you could switch. So if you want to be safe from ensuing attacks here, you need to control this wrist. Go ahead, try to chase me as I get out. Guys, I don't really want to move my left hip out of this position too much, all right? So what I've been seeing people do is, like, as they rotate here, they're kind of sweeping this hip through. You're gonna fall backwards this way. And if that happens, you're pretty much gonna offer up a back take to your partner. All right, so here, while this is still strong and I'm breaking his grip, okay? If I start to sweep through, I lose that ability, like pinch your elbows. See, now, not only can I not break the grip, okay, but I'm starting to turn my back to him. So if he's not able to finish the Darce here, he's gonna unlock his hands. He's gonna switch to a seatbelt grip. So guys, the mechanics should be like this. I'm not really moving my legs too much. If you guys need to step away from your partner, take staggered steps. Okay, try not to do this, because that's when you're gonna get rotated backwards. So that escape is really similar to the one where we bring our elbow across here. You guys see my positioning, it's still the same. Okay, that rotation of the shoulder is just a really good wedge for getting out of a lot of arm in situations there. Okay, so I'll show you guys a rep now where Mike has long enough arms. Let's say he figure fours here. Okay, so you guys are still gonna do the same thing, okay? You're gonna thumb post here as you start to situate flat. And I'm sprawling my left hip as I punch my left arm down, okay? Again, unless you're really big and it's hard for people to turn you, I'm really going to recommend that you go into the split sprawl. So it's easier for you to have mobility and reinforcement here. Okay, now the problem becomes, okay, the Darce isn't that tight anymore. However, he still has the lock on me, okay? We're at a bit of a compromise here. So, to start winning here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start turning my head and my shoulder towards my outside knee, so we can start hand fighting here. Look at it from this scenario, okay? Let's say Mike gets here, maybe we're a little too slow to get belly down, and he turns me to the side, okay? All right, so this will be a good option, guys, like if he has really good chest position here. If I can't get my arm over my head, and I can't punch my elbow down for whatever reason, okay? One last option is, instead of going up and down, is to actually go across this way. So what I'm gonna do for this escape is actually look to get my elbow to the outside of Mike's body and push on his knee here, okay? So let's compare it here. Try to lock up the choke and finish it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, good. Versus here. Good. 1, 2, okay. So guys, look at, the point is look at this elbow like a giant frame, okay? Now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use this to get up, okay? And we're essentially gonna go to a back take here, all right? Now, you guys see as I get up, Mike's hands are already popping open. That's common, okay? If that's the case, you guys are just gonna go right to your hooks from here, okay? So this leg is gonna go over the top. My bottom leg is gonna come through. And we're just gonna start to place the hooks, okay? This escape is like a funny version of going to side close guard, okay? So if he keeps his arms locked, I'm actually gonna use this as leverage to separate his arms off my head. If his arms aren't connected to my head, that's why we're coming up to our hooks, okay? Now let's compare that with what we're doing right now, all right? So if I start to get up here, okay? And I start to throw my legs over, but Grant's not letting go. So from here, what you would do is actually look for that side close guard, right? So from here, I would cross my feet. Now Grant is still gonna look to pull me in, but look, the reason why that's popping off is when I do that side scissor here, I'm extending my legs. That makes it really hard for him to hold on to the Darce. We're not in as great of a position, but you guys see, it's still that side close guard. We could still potentially get the back here, go to your rolling arm bar, your pendulum sweep, whatever you like to do from this position. One more time. So we'll work that same scenario. Like you pretty much just have to be able to get this elbow framing and have the ability to get up to your knees here, okay? Guys, I am going to recommend if like you don't have great flexibility here, get up to your toes. So it's easier to place your legs, okay? What if he hooks my leg with his foot? Okay. And then oftentimes here, he'll either stay here or, arguably more common, he'll drop to his outside hip. Right, okay. Guys, when this happens, you should almost just look at this like a reverse half dart, okay? So we just need to wedge here. So if he's really pulling my leg in and I can't pull my leg out, you should really think to just back your hips up, get your shin in front of the knee, and use that to wedge your leg out so you're not getting finished there. And then a lot of times here, with that momentum, you can go flat to your back, go to your stomach again, or start building back up here.